we are going on another road trip. So we'll be taking it out to Greenville, South Carolina. All right, made it to this Pilot Flying J. Pretty nice place. So we got the GM Energy Ultium, whatever it's called, Pilot Flying J. Ridiculous. Got the big diesels coming in. A bit more. Let's see, can I get do we have, yeah, here we go. This is what I want to see. So we should get, man, everybody is screaming their diesels tonight. This is ridiculous. Everybody's got a loud thing here in Prosperity, South Carolina, whether it's diesel, motorcycles. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. As you can see behind me, we have the F-150 Lightning charging up because we are going on another road trip. So we'll be taking it out to Greenville, South Carolina, or really just outside of Greenville from here in Myrtle Beach. So about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive there. And then in a few days, we'll be heading back over this Labor Day weekend. So let's take a look at the truck, dive in and see our route, see how our charging plans are going to go, because there's really not much charging between here and there, and we'll see how this road trip goes. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned. Let's take a look. All right, everybody. Well, if you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Paul, and this is our relatively new, about 4 months old, 2025 F-150 Lightning flash trim. And we absolutely love this truck. We just hit 4,000 miles on it. We've road tripped it a couple of times already, and we don't really see us stopping anytime in the near future. We love this truck for road tripping, though it is a little bit more expensive to road trip, especially with DC fast charging, versus something like a Tesla Model 3 or our other vehicle, our Ford Mustang Mach-E. We still enjoy having all the extra room and the ability to spread out and have space for luggage and whatever else you need to bring with you. And of course, if you want to see, we have a ton of other videos on this channel with this truck already, just in our short ownership. And once again, we love it. So today we are taking this trip. It's about 3.5 hours, maybe 4, probably if we stop for charging, but we're not leaving until after work today. So we'll be leaving probably a little bit before 6 o'clock, getting there around maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight, depending on how we go. But this is our 2025, excuse the sirens, Myrtle Beach things. So once again, our 2025 flash trim F-150 Lightning. And I do have to state this. This has the 131 kilowatt hour battery, not the 123, I believe it is, that they started doing to the flash trims. After I bought this, shortly after I bought this, they started taking out a module, and now the flash trims only have that smaller battery pack. So interestingly enough, I do have one of the, I say few, but there's probably a couple thousand of these F-150s, 2025 F-150 flashes with the 131 kilowatt hour battery pack in it. So really cool. Love the truck. Have towed with it before. There's a video on that as well. But anyway, basically we are charging up the truck. I think it's somewhere in the about 70% right now, or somewhere around that area. We're not going to get it up to 100, unfortunately. We just don't have the time to get it all the way up there before we leave today. I actually got it plugged into our charger right now, which we are typically charging at about 40 amps. But weirdly enough, what does that say right now? It's at 20. I don't know if I can zoom in enough for you to see it. 29 amps, I think, right now. We are being pretty limited, and I believe that is because this truck is just sitting in the sun, and the charging handle is just sitting in the sun, and I think it is just this area of the truck, I think, is just getting pounded with some heat right now, and it's been charging for quite a few hours. So I think that is why we're having some limited performance with our charging, which is a little interesting. But anyway, let's jump in the truck. I want to show you the route that we're going to be taking, and we're going to be doing one stop today, and that one stop will actually be our only charging stop there, and then on the way back, we'll probably hit another stop on the way back, possibly. And then that'll be our trip. I think it's only 180 miles, I think. We'll take a look when we get in the truck. Anyway, let's dive in and let's take a look at the navigation. All right. Well, as you can see, it says it's about 98 degrees outside. That's actually a little high. It's probably closer to about 90 right now. But as you can see here, we have our navigation already set out. So we are going to be going out west here, driving through. This is going to be basically like 501 out to, what is that, Route 20 or whatever it is. Yeah. So, and then we're going to be taking this out, hitting Columbia, South Carolina, going bloop bloop and flying off of Columbia, and then heading in that northwest trajectory. Now, according to this, it wants us to stop way back here, or it wants us to stop in Columbia, but actually, we are actually going to go all the way out to what is called Prosperity, South Carolina. I've actually never even heard of that town, even though I've clearly been through it before. But as you can see here, for some reason, they have both the same charger in here twice, which is interesting. But we are stopping at a Pilot Flying J, and it is an EV Go, even though it's more of a GM Ultium Pilot Flying J super duper whatever system there. It's not technically EV Goes, but yeah, so we're going to be stopping there, and that is, according to this, 176 miles. And as you can see here, we're currently at a 71% state of charge. Once again, charging at 30 amps, unfortunately. And it says we already have over 200 miles of range. Now, once again, this is EPA rated range. This is not necessarily what we're going to see once we unplug the car, because Fords are notorious for, this is how much range you have. You unplug it, you have your nav set up, then all of a sudden that will drop by sometimes 20%. And it could be a little weird when you pull away from the charger and that recalculates and it's not 223, it's like 175. And so we're going to try not to have that happen. We're going to try to charge up as much as possible while we're home and try to make it all the way to this charger. So let's see where this drops us off and what we need to get there. All right, so you can see we adjusted here, EV Go now, and then Fountain Inn is our final destination. So as you can see here, it shows that we're going to get there with about 13% state of charge right now, which sounds about right for where we're at. So hopefully we'll have this number a little bit higher, maybe 20%, even 25 is fine. For those of you who know the charging curve on the F-150 Lightning, it really doesn't help to come in low. It's actually better to come in above like 15%. And yeah, so we're going to get there with whatever we get there with, honestly. It's a good stop. It's a good place to stop. It's not too far from our destination, but it's probably a good amount of time. It says about 3 hours and 46 minutes to get there. It's a good enough time in the car where 4 people might need to stop at this point. So that's probably what we're going to do there. So that's pretty much our goal today, is to drive about 180 miles, get to this EV Go, then Fountain Inn, which is just about an hour after that. And these numbers, as far as time, will change a little bit based on traffic. So we won't be leaving till about 5:30, maybe 6. So hopefully traffic won't be as bad once we get to the busy areas like Columbia, South Carolina, and a couple other places that we might pass through on our way there. But that's pretty much our trip. From the beach all the way straight west, bounce off Columbia, head up to this charger, and then we are good to go. And actually, I don't even like going this way. I kind of want to go up this northern route, so we might have to change that as well. So, yeah, we'll just adjust accordingly as we go. But that's pretty much the gist of it. That time won't change too much based on our trajectory. Another interesting thing that we are combating right now is actually our charging. So right now, we pay for our electricity 8 cents per kilowatt hour, which is cheap. And I love it. But, however, we are in this point of the season where we are being charged from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on demand hours. So basically peak hours, but it's actually a demand charge. And so what actually happens is we actually get charged per kilowatt that we use during those 3-hour windows. So for instance, if we're charging our F-150 Lightning here, and we pull 10 kilowatts from the grid anytime between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., we get hit with a demand charge of $80. It's $8 per kilowatt that we pull, not kilowatt hour, per kilowatt. So that's why quite a few years ago, I guess it's about 5 years now, we actually adopted solar on our roof. And the solar has been fantastic. But what I did about 2 years ago is actually we went ahead and got some Tesla Powerwalls. And so I'll show you them real quick actually. And I do have some videos on them if you're interested on the channel. But as you can see here, right next to our loud air conditioning system, we do have 2 Tesla Powerwalls. So a total of about 27 kilowatt hours that we have that we can dispense into our vehicles during those peak hours without actually getting hit by the peak hour demand charge from our electricity company. And just to kind of show you real quick, I'm going to turn you around so you can see the app real quick and get an idea of what we're looking at here. So just to show you exactly where we are right now. So at 3 p.m. we will start hitting our demand window. And right now we are at 2:36 p.m. So we have about 25 minutes just about. And we are currently pulling 18.8 kilowatts from the grid, because some of that is going into our house, which in this case would also be our truck. We're only pulling 0.9 kilowatt of solar because we just had a cloud go over us. So that's also going down into our house. And then as you can see right here, we are actually putting in, based on those arrows you can see, or the colors moving across, we're actually putting in about 9.5 kilowatts into our battery. So what it's trying to do is it knows that we're getting a high demand right now for our battery. And it's trying to take the energy that we are currently paying 8 cents per kilowatt hour, and it's trying to dump that to everything. The batteries, the house, the truck, everything is getting fed right now from the grid. Because at 3 p.m., we will fully disconnect from the grid for those 3 hours. So we have 0 demand charge. So right now you can see we're basically maxing out what we could charge the Tesla Powerwalls at. They only go to about 10 kilowatt between the 2 of them. And we're currently at about 70%. So once 3 o'clock hits, we will move our electricity load to the Powerwalls as opposed to the grid. So this will be 0, and this will be whatever we need. And what I'll do is I'll try to keep that under 10 kilowatts based on the Powerwalls and the solar. So between the solar and the Powerwalls, we could do 10 kilowatt from the Powerwalls, and then the solar will probably be around 3 o'clock, no more than about 3 to 3.5 kilowatts. You can see right now it's coming back up, 3.6. We probably hit close to 4 right now, depending on the time and the sun and everything. But this time of the year, we're almost 4 kilowatts. There it is, 4 kilowatts. So we're taking that 4 kilowatts and we're just dumping it wherever it needs to go right now. And once again, in about 20 minutes, this will all get shut down from a grid standpoint, and everything will be fed from our Powerwalls. And I will have to slow down the charger as well, just so we don't accidentally overdrive our load, our batteries and our solar. We don't want to pull from the grid in any way, shape, or form, because it will pull from the grid if, for some reason, we max out our solar input and our battery capability output. So, yeah, just really cool. I wanted to show you that. So that's another reason why we're not going to hit 100% before we leave, because we're going to have to slow down our charging anyway. But at this point in time, even at 70-something percent, we're perfectly fine to make it to the charger. So that's really all I care about right now. Everything else is just bonus at this point. I'd rather spend 8 cents per kilowatt hour to charge the truck than the 60 cents per kilowatt hour. We'll see you right before we leave, and when we get the truck packed up and all that stuff. All right, let's let it cut over here. So it is just about 3 o'clock. You can see we're still charging the battery from the grid, almost 13 kilowatts coming from the grid. I've lowered the amperage on the charger to 24 amps, so we're not pulling as much. And as you can see there, we're going to be cutting over to our battery here in just a moment. As soon as it hits 3 o'clock, let's see, 3 o'clock. And then sometimes it takes a little bit because it's lagging a little bit, and we can see, boom, there we go. So now we are fully discharging off the battery and solar. So between our solar input there into our house and our battery, we are doing 4.1 kilowatts pulling from the house, which is also the truck charging. And we are doing 3.2 kilowatts out of the battery to make up the difference from the solar. So hopefully it will continue to get sunny out, and we will continue to get some more solar input into the house here. And then this way, we can try to use up as much of this battery buffer as possible in the next 3 hours before we leave. So it's all about calculating it now. So how fast do we want to charge the truck versus how much battery do we have? So, roughly 80% of battery on that power walls there, so you're looking at, what does that math come out to be? Around 20 something kilowatt hours, low 20s there. And then we have a 20% buffer at the bottom. So really we're only looking at maybe 15 to 16 kilowatt hours of usable energy between now and by the time we leave, 6 o'clock. So just thought I would point this out. It's pretty cool how you can, basically between solar and batteries, electric vehicles, and basically be, pretty independent from the big charges from the grid, or at least the peak hours. But there we go, 1 kilowatt solar pulling from the battery. Looks good. I might bump up our charging a little bit. All right, getting on the road, leaving at 82% state of charge here. And it says we're going to get to the Pilot Flying J at 175 miles away. 26% is what we'll get there with. So plenty of buffer. And beautiful day, nice and warm. Truck is packed. Crank the AC, let's go. All right, just over 50 miles into this trip now. You can see we're about 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. And we hit a lot of little traffic and slowed down in the beginning, but we're doing pretty good now. We're on some faster paced roads. And except for this road, now we're down to 45, but we were just at 65 a little while ago. But sun's starting to go down. We're starting to see some overcast as well. And we still got about 120 miles till the charger. So we got plenty of battery to get us there. And yeah, so far everything's been pretty good. All the traffic's going towards the beach, so thankfully we're going the other way. All right, just took a quick detour here. Had to stop and grab some supplies, but we are, just to double check, almost 70 miles into this trip, hour and a half already. So we have to get back on the road here, and we still got a little bit of driving here, about 104 miles left to just get to the charger, so we won't get there till after 9 o'clock now. So all right, let's get back on the road. Just about 100 miles into our trip, just over 2 hours now, and we're doing pretty well. Now we're actually on a proper highway, and we got just over an hour to get to the charger, so it says we're going to be there before 9 now, so we've shaved off a few minutes, and then hopefully we won't be at the charger for very long. But highway's looking pretty clear, sun's going down, and hopefully it'll be nice and smooth for the rest of the drive. All right, made it to this Pilot Flying J. Pretty nice place. So we got the GM Energy Ultium, whatever it's called, Pilot Flying J. Ridiculous. 170.5 miles, just over 3 hours of driving, 2.2 miles per kilowatt hour, because a lot of the end of that trip, probably the last 50 or 60 miles was literally just 70, 75 miles an hour the whole way. And since these are EV Go, this should be auto charge. Oop, let me pop that down, and look at that, one-handed. All right, let's see. Begin your session. Payment has been authorized. See, auto charge, the future right there. All right, and we are checking cable safety right now. And while we're waiting for that, because that does take a little bit, I just heard some thunking in there. So decent site here, really nice, right off the highway, right next to this Wendy's. Got obviously the gas station there. Got the big diesels coming in, and then of course they got some of these 4 stations here of charging. So really nice setup, and these are pretty good chargers. I think these are yeah, so up to 350 kilowatt, but of course this is shared. So if another car pulled in here, we'd be getting roughly half depending on that. So here are our session details, 101 kilowatt already. So as you can see, we're here at 22% state of charge. So we should be getting the full 180 kilowatts, maybe even a little bit more. Let's see, can I get do we have, yeah, here we go. This is what I want to see. So we should get, man, everybody is screaming their diesels tonight. This is ridiculous. But we should see at least 500 amps coming through here today. Let's see, are we going to hit 500 amps? We're already at 176 kilowatts. We're going to watch our amperage here. We're going to watch our voltage creep up. There it is. There's our 500 amps now hitting. And our voltage is starting to come up a little bit, 357 volts. So there is our 180 kilowatts right there somewhere. Anyway, we're gonna hit 180 here as our amperage starts to stabilize and our voltage starts to come up a little bit. But there we go, nice and predictable Ford Lightning charging curve. So let's see what it says in the truck, and we should see about the same here in the truck. So yep, this is saying about 176, and the charger says about 170. It says 180 now on there, and about 176 in the truck. So cool. All right, that is awesome. So I'm gonna go inside, use the restroom real quick, and yeah, we are just peaked at 180 kilowatts right there. 500 amps, 180 kilowatts, and 361 volts. It's cool. All right, well, we'll be here for a little bit, but good charging session. All right, so it looks like we've tapered down off the Ford boost profile there, so down to 410 amps now, 150 kilowatts. So we'll be here for a little bit longer, but so far already 30 kilowatt hours dispensed into the truck in just over 10 minutes. So once again, pretty decent charging curve. Pretty nice setup here. They got a Wendy's, the Pilot, Dunkin', they got a Waffle House next door. Right across the street is a Circle K with a Subway, of course. And yeah, pretty nice setup here. We tried to get some Frosties at Wendy's, and guess what? They're like, oh, the machine is down, or they said they just shut it down. Typical, right? That's usually a McDonald's move, but I guess I guess Wendy's is adopting that too. Anyway, we've been here for about 35 minutes, something like that. I was also just notified that we actually took up the handicap spot, but that's okay because there's nobody else here. So not like we're hurting anybody's feelings. But yeah, so pretty nice setup here. Once again, 2 stations, 4 simultaneous charging capability, so pretty good. Everybody's got a loud thing here in Prosperity, South Carolina, whether it's diesel, motorcycles. And you can see we're at 319 amps now, so we're definitely dropping. 124 kilowatt session so far. Actually, while we're sitting here, some guy came in with a diesel F-250,
and he just kind of like parked sideways and then looked over at us, and then he went over to the machine, started poking at the machine over there, and I was like, hey, are you like a technician? He goes, yeah. He says, I'm a technician. He was like, I was just checking on the machine, making sure everything was looking good, blah blah blah. So I was talking to him for a little bit, and he was pretty open to, you know, electric vehicles. He says he has one that he's been driving for the past week, actually. I think he said something about he traded it with somebody. I'm not sure, but yeah, so he was talking about how he's been driving one, and he said he's happy with it. He says almost 300 miles on a full charge, and he's perfectly fine with it. He didn't even know what it was, though. He said it was a Kia. I said EV6, and he's like, no, I don't think so. I don't know what else it was, though, because he said it was a smaller car. But so we're going to be just about done here in a few minutes. Probably once again 80%. Once we probably dip below about 100 kilowatt, that's going to be just about it for us. So just a few more minutes. Only hit 30 minutes just now. So yeah, we've been here only half an hour. Not too bad. And there is that 80% dip down to 53 kilowatts now. And yeah, so that's about it. So almost 387 volts right now. So pretty decent voltage on this truck. It's probably close to 400 once it's full. I've actually never looked before, but I'll have to take a look at that one day. But yeah, so it's just hovering around that mid to high 50s kilowatt range right now. But I think we are done. We've spent enough money here. So let's go ahead and stop charge. And I'll let you how they do that. You hit this button to end it, and then you got to hit this one to confirm ending it. Interesting. There we go. We are done. And it's going to want me to hit this button, isn't it? Come on. There we go. Ugh. Into the holster. Processing. Close the flap. And we'll get that when we get in the car. All right, let's go. Alright, made it here. 55 miles from the charger. Took us just under an hour there. 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour because we were keeping some speed there. And so for today, 226 miles on the dot. Just over 4 hours of driving. Took us a little longer because we did have an unscheduled stop pretty early on, but pretty good overall. 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour. So pretty good. Family is all here, so we're going to go and meet up with them, and we'll see you probably tomorrow. All right, well, you are joining me as we are pulling up to the local Circle K here in Fountain Inn. They have a turn right. They have a charger here. It's not a great charger, but it is a DC fast charger nonetheless. And we're gonna just charge up here for, sorry for the navigation there, but we're just gonna charge up here for tomorrow, because tomorrow is Labor Day and tomorrow is the day that we are leaving. Now, last time I was here, as I straighten out here, last time I was here, this charger was down, and it looks like it still might be the case. So let's find out here. All right, so let's see what this thing has for us. All right, it says available and plug in. So maybe, hopefully, it's just the screen that's messed up. And these are some older EV Connect units there. So, all right, connecting the vehicle. Yeah, exactly. You told me to plug in first, though. So, let's get this going here. What an absolute pain this was. Holy moly, EV Connect. Wow, you just need to be bought out by some other company. What an absolute pain. So last time I was here, I was able to use the Circle K app to initiate the charging. However, these are not the typical Circle K chargers. These are some third-party one, the EV Connect. And I downloaded the EV Connect app, scanned the QR code that's on the charger here, and it was just like, that doesn't exist. And then I tried scanning the other station, which is right next to it, also said, does not exist. I had to manually type in the station ID in the EV Connect app just to get it to be like, oh, you want to charge on this charger. Okay. Wow, what a pain. But we are finally going here, so it looks like we're only going to be doing probably around 70 kilowatts here. We're at 52%. I just want to top off before we leave and get on the road tomorrow. This way we're, not leaving too low state of charge and we have to stop too soon. So maybe I'll just stay here till about 65% or something, just to get something in the truck, so this way we could try to get a good chunk of the trip done tomorrow before our first stop. But anyway, we'll monitor this from inside the truck. So this is saying about 73 kilowatts. I think these are like, what are these, like 200 amp limited? Yeah, 200 amp max output. So because we got such a low voltage truck, we are not going to be getting very good speeds whatsoever. So that is the unfortunate truth of some of this older infrastructure, is low amperage on low voltage vehicles, not a good mixture, because we are not going to get very much speeds. There you go. You can see 72 kilowatts going into the truck right now. So like I said, we're not going to sit here for too long, maybe 10 or 20 minutes at the most, just to get some charge into the battery. But man, what a pain in the neck to get this to work. Like, I've never seen such a pain in the neck charger. No credit card tap, no credit card swiper, nothing like that. You literally have to do it through the EV Connect app, which I couldn't get working because I opened up the EV Connect app, I registered my account, that failed on me like a bunch of times, and then it's like, oh well, you have to do this and that, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, scan the QR code. I scanned the QR code, it says it doesn't exist. What? The manually type in the station ID in the EV Connect app to get it to work. Wow, that just seems unnecessary. Anyway, we'll see what this is going to do for us here, and I'll report back. All right, so I'm pretty sure I figured out how I did this last time I was here, because I didn't have the EV Connect app. I'm pretty sure I used the Shell Recharge app, because I think that's what these used to be. I think these used to be Shell Recharge. And so I go in the app, and there it is, Circle K Fountain Inn. You click on it, and sure enough, there's my session already running. And as you can see, you can basically click on one, and it says, pay. So I guess that's how I did it last time. I guess these maybe were labeled Circle K last time I was here, so I just used this, not Circle K, excuse me, the, I want to call it Volta, but it's not, it's Shell Recharge, and I guess that's what I used, was the Shell Recharge app, and you can see here it says EV Connect, but just interesting that, yeah, so that must have been how I did it last time. Anyway, I downloaded the EV Connect app unnecessarily, but, oh well. We are sitting here now at 75 kilowatts at 65% stated charge. Once again, probably just going to get to maybe where that says about 200 miles of range, 75%. Somewhere around there is where I'm kind of aiming for. And then, oh, there's that, 74. I thought it said 76 for a second there. But anyway, yeah, we're looking pretty good so far. We'll just hang around here. I'm just by myself right now. Everybody's at the party having a good time, and I was just like, yeah, let me break away for a little bit and get this done. This way I don't have to worry about it. But they need faster charging in this area. The only other charger they have is a what do they call that? They have an EV Go station down the street, but it's an old 50 kilowatt EV Go. So it's either I do 50 kilowatt or I do 75. So obviously we'll take the 75, plus this is closer. So yeah, anyway, I'll let you know when we finish up our charging. All right, you can see we stayed here a little bit longer here, so we're at 79%, and we are cooking at 76 kilowatt. You can see that as our voltage started to creep up. So did our kilowatt, because we started around like 73 kilowatt here on the screen. Now we're at about 77. So what I'm really curious about is what happens when we hit that 80% mark. So typically, I don't remember what it does at 80%. Is it around 50 kilowatts or 70 kilowatts? I can't honestly remember. So here's 80. Yep, yeah, it is around 50 kilowatts. So as you can see, we just hit now that 80% cliff. So boom. Regardless of what charger we plug into now, we are maxed out. So 54, 55 kilowatt is all we're going to get here. So I think this is a perfect time to stop. We're not really going to get much more out of that. Let's hit the stop button here on this really broken screen that we have. And then, there we go. I guess maybe the button doesn't work for that. That's weird. Kerchunking. Fans cooling down over there. Wait for it. There we go. Clean up the cables. Flaps up. All right, now we are ready for our trip tomorrow, starting at around 80%, probably 79 by the time we get back to the house. Start it up and go home. Alrighty, well. Good morning. Let's get in the truck and see what our day brings. Beautiful day out here. Only in the 70s. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All right. Clean. Ooh, I gotta clean that windshield. That's bad. All right. Well, we are at 80% state of charge this morning. So that was after my little top up yesterday. Says we have about 232 miles of range, but of course that's just estimated range. That's not actually calculated range. I'm waiting for the navigation to, there we go. And let's see what we're looking at here. So right now it looks like, I'm going to assume this is Florence, South Carolina, that it wants us to stop at. Am I correct about that? That's looking like a Florence. Yeah, that looks like Florence. So it looks like it wants us to stop all the way in Florence, South Carolina, which is pretty good. Let's see, that's saying that we will get there with about 24% state of charge. So not too bad. So that means we got plenty of buffer to play with if we wanted to. Because I actually thought about maybe stopping at like Buc-ee's, because Buc-ee's has a lot of high-speed chargers. So there is that option as well, but that would put us up here. So I don't know. We're going to play it by ear. I think we're going to see, because today is Labor Day, so it could be busy out there, and we might have some struggles trying to find CCS chargers, and the Buc-ee's has both CCS and a supercharger. So it's convenient for charging, but it's inconvenient for how busy it could potentially be. Our other option is we can stop early in Columbia and hit some chargers there. Now, actually, we could take a look real quick. Let's hit replace. Once again, we're going to do this guy. We're going to say active route. And we're going to hit this for fastest chargers. And then here's that Pilot Flying J that we stopped in Prosperity. There's, let's see, number 2, number 3, Irmo. There's a Circle K there, which we've tried stopping there once before, but it was full. Only 4 chargers. And then after that, yeah, really not much else. That's kind of the problem with this area of the state, is it kind of just becomes a dry spot for chargers. So we do have the Electrify America in Columbia here, which, once again, that's an option. Or we can try to get all the way out to Florence, which would give us not only Electrify America, the Buc-ee's, and, well, I mean, there's like a half a dozen car dealerships with not level 2, DC fast chargers, but I would probably never stop there. So I think our goal is to get to Florence, and then we will stop at either the EA station, which is at a Walmart, go figure, or potentially we'll go to Buc-ee's. We'll have to see. Let's actually look at this real quick, because I want to see, let's see, I need to probably, because right now we're along the route, so this is the only issue, is now if I want to say, Is there actually a town called Welcome, South Carolina? That's funny. All right, typing in the Buc-ee's manually. So this is interesting because it says it's not part of the Ford network, which I wonder if my filters are filtering that out. So that could be the reason why I didn't see it in the list. But let's just hit select and Buc-ee's Florence. So it's saying 2 hours and 41 minutes to get there. Now, I'm not sure what time we're leaving. I see it's a little after 8 o'clock right now. We might be leaving about 10 or 11. But that's about, call it, 2 hours and 40 minutes. So if we leave at 10, that means we won't be getting the Buc-ee's till almost 1 o'clock. And we want to get something for lunch. So I don't know if the Buc-ee's is going to really work out great. But we'll just play it by ear and see how we feel. And then maybe we'll stop early. You know, if we feel like we're getting close to Columbia, we could stop in Columbia. Or we could just keep it going and head all the way to Florence. But really, as you can see, there's not much in between those two. So we may have to just deal with that. But anyway, we'll keep up with you in a little bit here when we have some options. Alright, just getting on the highway here, trying to get back towards the Columbia area of South Carolina. And right now it's showing that we got about 171 miles of range on the battery and about 166 miles to the charger. So might be cutting it a little close, but we'll see how the buffer is in a little bit. And then hopefully we'll turn that 2% arrival into something a little bit higher. But that's our goal, to get the Buc-ee's. If not, we'll bail out a little bit early in Columbia. Alright, just about an hour into this trip, just over 60 miles now. We're doing pretty well with our efficiencies, keeping it at the speed limit, about 65, 70, based on traffic and whatnot. But as you can see here, we got a bit of a buffer now, almost 20 miles of buffer. So that's looking pretty good now. So I think we're going to continue our way to Buc-ee's in Florence, South Carolina. And kind of keep going. So right now it's projecting an 8% state of charge arrival, so that should be plenty. And we'll have plenty of time there to charge up, get some lunch. It'll kind of be a full stop for a lot of things. But yep, about 105 miles left to go, and then we'll be at Buc-ee's. But the weather's beautiful, nice and cool, 73 degrees right now, and traffic's been moving. But it is Labor Day. There's a lot of cops out today, so we're just trying to keep it within the limits and make sure we're being safe about it too. All right, ended up stopping at the Circle K here in Irmo just because somebody had to use the restroom. So we will get plugged in here. Whoop, I can't do this one-handed. All right, let's see. I got the Circle K app here on my phone. Click, we are at station 02 and we are at B, 49 cents a kilowatt hour. Sorry, you can't really see that screen. Swipe to charge. It's not giving me the option to swipe here. Oh no, swipe down here. Phone was blocking it. Waiting for response. There's the clunk. Preparing. So these are 180 kilowatt stations, but I'm not sure what these are limitation wise. So let's take a look, see if we got any. Here we go. So nominal, so these are 300 amp output, or max 400 amp. So it looks like they have a 400 amp boost. So that's good, up to 920 volts, of course. So that's good, actually. We actually probably do pretty decent here, maybe about 100 kilowatts or so. So here we are. This looks like it's still doing its thing there. And this will give us just enough charge, so this way we don't have to worry about the buffer so much trying to get to Florence, and then this way we can pull in with a little bit more, and then we'll actually get better charging, because over there in Florence we're actually getting 400 kilowatt Mercedes-Benz charge point stations. Those things are pretty good. Actually, we're doing really well here. Look at this, 146 kilowatt at 54% state of charge. That's actually really good. Let's take a look in the truck real quick, see what the truck says. Kick you on, let's see. So we are at 55%, yeah, 146 kilowatt. That's actually a lot better. So these must have, that seems higher than 300 amps, but either way, I'll take it. I don't think these screens have any type of extra. No, this is literally all you get here. So it just shows your kilowatt hours and your speed. So about 150 kilowatts. All right, cool, we'll take it. A little top off before we get to Florence. All right, we're all finished up here for now. So 63%. So we got a little bit of percentage there. 153 kilowatts. We're still screaming pretty good here. Honestly, I didn't think we were going to get that much of a decent charging session. Come on. Unlock, you fool. Oh. Hit the button again. And charging finished. Okay. Aren't you unlocking? There we go. That was on me. All right. Flaps up. Just a quick check-in here between Columbia and Florence, South Carolina. So we are currently at 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour because we've been on pretty much mostly highway, and we're about 54 miles from the charger when we left. And because of that, because we stopped to charge to top off a little bit, we now have a 23% state of charge arrival. So that gives us 23. That gives us a little bit more buffer, so this way when we get there we'll get maximum power. But we're also going to eat some lunch, so we're not going to be really in much of a rush anyway. But that's where we're looking at right now. So we'll be there in about a half an hour or so, or maybe a little more than half an hour. Yeah, about 36 minutes. So yep, so far looking good. Now you'll notice that we don't have Blue Cruise hands-free active right now, so our trial expired about a month ago. And I just don't renew it. It's not really worth it for these short trips, but I will buy it for a month at a time when we do some longer trips in the vehicle. Just don't feel like it's worth the $50 a month or the $500 a year that they're charging for it. But overall, it's been a smooth trip, not much traffic. Hopefully Buc-ee's will be the same when we get there, and it's been looking pretty good. All right, just did a quick stretch there, hour and 25 minutes, just about 92 miles. And then this is what we've done already today, 163 miles. So we're pretty close to home. I think we only got like another 60-something miles, 2 hours and a half. And now we're going to go ahead and plug into these charge point chargers by Mercedes-Benz. Really nice, relatively cheap, high-powered. Try to do this one-handed. Oh yeah, look at that. Come on, come on. As you can, we're ramping up now. Our voltage is already looking pretty good, so our amperage is starting to come up. We should get the full 500 amps. It's a pretty good station here. Actually got about 5 or 6 different charging stations here, so obviously we picked the one not to share with anybody else. There's another one right over there as well. And yeah, so this is a pretty nice station here. We're at Buc-ee's in Florence, South Carolina. And here we are ramping up almost 180 kilowatts. We know it's going to hit 180 kilowatts because we're going to get the full 500 amps here, over 20% state of charge. So looking really good. And there we are, just about 180 at 500 amps. These are nice units, these ChargePoint 400 kilowatt stations. Always giving the good power, as long as you're not plugging in with somebody else. Anyway, let's head on into Buc-ee's there as we hit 180 kilowatt. Place is mobbed, Labor Day, I guess that makes sense. But let's go in. All right, we're finishing up here at Buc-ee's. We just hit 82%, so we are well over what we need for getting home. Still charging at over 60 kilowatts though, so not too bad. But we're gonna go ahead and unplug. Buc-ee's is absolutely packed, and it's pretty crazy here on Labor Day. Anyway, let's get back on the road. All right, just made it home. That 77-mile stretch there, just an hour and 20 minutes, just over 2 miles per kilowatt hour. And for today, just under 4 hours of driving, 240 miles. So not too bad, 2 miles per kilowatt hour average. And we got home at 55%. So obviously we well overcharged at our last stop, which we knew because we were stopping to eat anyway. But yeah, pretty good.
All right, well, what an awesome trip we took in the F-150 Lightning. Just a short weekend getaway, so nothing too crazy, but a couple of stops, a couple of DC fast charging sessions. I'm really getting to learn how the DC fast charging is on this truck, both with low amperage chargers and some of the high powered stuff as well. And I'm starting to really learn how this truck charges. One thing I can say for sure is consistency. Wow, plug it in regardless of, temperature or whatever. You plug the truck in and boom, you get the maximum that charger can basically give that truck, or the maximum that the truck can take from the charger, depending on, the charger you're plugging into. But man, just the consistency of the F-150 Lightning is actually really good to see. So I'm really happy with it. Once again, we proved that this 8 hours round trip basically in the F-150 was pretty comfortable, really nice. Even without Blue Cruise hands-free, I still felt pretty confident in driving the truck and not really getting tired. Like here I am after 4 hours of driving today, don't feel all that bad. I think the trip was, perfectly fine with the perfect lanes, with the lane centering. It just seems like it was a good enough solution for most of this short road trip stuff. Now, in the future, when we take longer road trips in the Lightning, we will be taking a month subscription of Blue Cruise hands-free, because it really is a fantastic system, and I really do look forward to using that as much as I possibly can. But overall, the trip was pretty good, pretty easy. Stopped for a couple of chargers, even if we didn't need to, but still had a great time overall. Anyway, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you found this video fun, exciting, if you found it interesting, if you're an F-150 Lightning owner, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, help support us here, and we'll have some more fun road trips with the F-150 Lightning in the future. And of course, if you're a fan of Mach-E content as well, take a look on the channel. We have plenty over the last almost 4 years, 3.5 years now with the Mach-E of road trips and things that we've done with this car all over the place. It's been a fantastic few years with this. But anyway, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks again for watching. Remember, welcome to the future. Welcome to Tech Motoring. And we'll see you on the next F-150 Lightning road trip.